Before going to college, I asked Mom to help with tuition, and I'd find my own way for accommodation and general money. She said no, and that I should just work harder. Fine. I got 2 jobs and earned a scholarship in my second year. I had to pay for my own party for my graduation because she said she wouldn't. When I got offered a job across the country, I asked her to assist me with just the first month's rent, and I'd pay her back when I got paid. She said she couldn't, and I had to let the job go despite it being a golden turkey given to me on a silver plate. But whatever. I managed to get another job closer, about after 6 months of unemployment. All this time, she had a savings account with money she'd been saving and what my late stepdad left her. There's a lot of money in there. It wouldn't have rendered her destitute to have helped me on at least one of these occasions. Still, it's her money, and I'm really not an entitled kid, so I never brought it up, even though I've always known about the account and let it go after she said no. She used to say it was for her retirement, and I completely respected that. She's been dating Dave for about 5 years now, and recently, Dave got in trouble with the law and needed bail money. A lot of money. 6 figures, and my mom paid for it. Not only that, but she's going to pay for his lawyer. All from this savings account. When I heard this, I got upset because, what in the world? She didn't even consider helping me out, but didn't waste a second hopping to the bank for her troublesome boyfriend. I told her she was a crap mom and unsupportive. Then we had a back and forth where she called me ungrateful and entitled. So, am I the idiot here? Not the idiot. I firmly believe that when you have a child, you're financially tied to that person for life, not until you turn 18. It would be one thing if your mom was saving that money for retirement, but she's made it clear that she wasn't. She was saving it for some deadbeat loser who allegedly did something so awful that his bail was in the 6 figures. You're not entitled to ask for help from your mom. Your mom is the idiot for repeatedly refusing to help her child with the very reasonable expenses and then turning around and throwing it away for some guy. I think the dude scammed OP's mommy. It's going to be glorious when you can tell her, "I told you so," smugly, when she realizes she wasted all her money on that flea bag. Even more so when she inevitably comes to you with her hand out. Tell her she should have worked harder and she'll need to get a job if she needs money that badly. If he jumps bail, please update. That would be the perfect cherry on top. Wow, honey, your mom had 6 figures in savings and used it to bail out a loser friend instead of her daughter's tuition? She can't be bothered with what? $5,000 or less for moving and first month's expenses for her child so they can succeed in their career? Even without the boyfriend being in trouble, I can't fathom the mindset of a parent that wouldn't pay 1 month of rent for their child to move for an excellent job, knowing full well that they can easily do it and will get the money back. That's some crappy mothering. You're calling it as you see it. OP, you sound smart and capable. However, your mother has issues, apparently, by putting her terrible boyfriend ahead of her daughter and her daughter's education. I'm speechless. It might be time to distance yourself from someone who has failed you repeatedly and clearly doesn't have your best interest at heart. You'll probably hear from her again when she needs money for a nursing home, and then it'll be your turn to tell her she should have worked harder and she sounds entitled. I am 20 female and my brother's 28 male, and my now sister-in-law is 30 female. About 6 months ago, I stuck to a weight loss regime, and it worked. I was 135 pounds and 5'1". Now I'm 105 pounds. 6 to 7 months ago, my brother told me that his now wife, with whom I was kind of friends, wanted me there as a bridesmaid. I've gone to Starbucks with her a few times and gotten our nails done together. I got busy with school and focusing on weight loss. I didn't see them for a long time. Yes, of course there were breaks, but I wanted to rest in my apartment because I was burnt out from school. I appreciate their understanding that I have school and can't make it when they're picking bridesmaids' dresses and other things. The college I go to is across the country. We live on the East Coast. So when I saw them again, 30 pounds lighter. My now sister-in-law said, "Why did you lose weight?" And I replied saying, "Because I felt I wasn't healthy, but now I feel my best." She frowned and didn't say anything. I chalked it up to her being a bit nervous about her wedding. She had already sent me the dress photos and needed me to come for measurements, but I couldn't because it wasn't in my budget. Flight tickets are expensive, so they got me a FaceTime with the person who measured and made the dresses based on that and helped me measure over the call. Recently, my brother approached me and asked if I could put on a few pounds and explained his now wife is jealous of how I look thinner than her. I asked to speak to her about this matter. She agreed to talk, and I told her that her big day shouldn't be ruined by how big or small someone is. We should love how we are. She got angry and told me it wasn't hard to gain a few pounds in the next 3 weeks. I told her calmly I won't be attending if she thinks like this. She started to lose her temper and started to insult me, saying that I used to be a fat cow and other things of that sort. So I just finally said, "I'm not coming to your wedding, you fat witch." My brother and our parents are calling me out and saying I messed up. Was I the idiot? Not the idiot. Telling someone to gain weight for their own vanity is one of the most narcissistic things I've ever read. I would have called her worse names. And you didn't mess up. Not to me. It sounds like you just avoided an expensive airline ticket. People like her don't deserve a place in your life. Make her apologize for her comment and her demand. This is borderline, but not the idiot. Your reaction was not genteel, but it is understandable after they got angry, insulted you, and then actually asked you to gain weight for the wedding. You had weight issues prior, and your height and weight are now in normal range. Did they want you to have an eating disorder? Good luck to your brother in getting married to this person. How's it borderline? Get off your high horse. People matching energy and defending themselves isn't being an idiot, though, in general. There's been this terrible phase where people started preaching, don't get down to their level. No exceptions. And if you lose your temper ever, it makes you a garbage person, and you lose all moral high ground. Basically, let them scream and insult you, take the disrespect and humiliation, and keep calmly treating them as if they were a rational person, capable of conflict resolution. It's just ignore the bully, dressed up for adults. And guess what? It doesn't work any better at 20 plus than it did during school. Yep, you were nice and understanding the entire conversation, but you have a limit. She called you a cow and implied she wanted you in the wedding to make herself look good. Book yourself an amazing holiday while they have the wedding. If anyone asks why you didn't attend, tell them the truth, that sister-in-law is horribly insecure. Your future sister-in-law needs to work on her insecurities instead of making ridiculous demands. My 22 female best friend, John, 23 male, and I have been friends since we were kids. We were very close as kids, and we had a fake wedding when we were 7 and 8. In high school, we recreated the fake wedding pics, and he had one of those pics in his wallet. John has distanced himself from me since he got with his girlfriend, Dinah, 23, around 2 years ago. We still hang out, but he always makes time for Dinah first instead of me. The only way I can see him now is if we grab coffee once every few days, but other than that, he won't come to my house when we used to have sleepovers and movie nights, and won't invite me to his house either. I feel neglected and hurt because we've been inseparable since we were small kids. A couple of days ago, I grabbed coffee with him at a coffee shop. When he opened his wallet to grab his card and pay, I noticed he had put a pic of him and Dinah where he had our fake wedding pic. I asked him about it and pointed out how I noticed, to which he only said, "What about it?" I was like, "Really? Why did you take our picture out and replace it with him and Dinah?" He said Dinah's his girlfriend, and he doesn't understand why I'm making such a big deal about it. I reminded him she might be his girlfriend, but he couldn't just throw me away. I've been his best friend since primary school, and my pic existed in his wallet first, and he threw it away to replace me with someone he knew significantly less. He got annoyed and told me that once I stop being an immature, annoying brat, he'll talk to me again. Until then, I better leave him to his peace, because he's not dealing with my childish tantrum. Am I the idiot here? Holy entitled guacamole, Batman. You are the idiot. You're not his wife or a girlfriend. His partner should come before you, regardless of your history. Dinah is his number one, no matter what you went through, and she always will be. Questioning her importance won't be a good look. Please apologize, and in the future, please avoid leaving the impression that you're trying to sabotage John and Dinah's relationship. Not a good look. The stunt you pulled on John was stupid. Right? I'd be furious if my boyfriend was having sleepovers with another woman and had a picture of them together as the first spot in his wallet. What the heck? Does OP expect to be able to sleep with him when they're both married too? Bye, hun. Gonna go cuddle with my platonic friend all night. She sounds like a jealous girlfriend that doesn't accept that the guy isn't actually her partner. She believed they would eventually get together and be married, not fake. Yeah, the whole fake wedding at 7 and recreated the photo in high school just screams she thought it would be all real one day. She describes wanting an emotional affair with him by placing greater priority on her over his girlfriend. That's not a friendship. OP, you are the idiot. It doesn't matter who knew him first. It's not a competition. For all you know, she could be his future wife. If I were him, I would cut contact with you solely because you don't respect his relationship. Unfortunately, not all friendships last into adulthood, and you just made it exponentially easier for him to walk away from this friendship by refusing to admit that you're jealous that all the attention he used to give you now goes to someone else. My brother's wife, Tam, always wanted a daughter. She had 2 sons and decided she was done having kids. They signed up for foster to adopt. Tam bonded with the baby girl placed with them, even though everyone warned her there was no guarantee the baby would become eligible for adoption. She did become eligible, and so did her older brother, and my brother and his wife were asked if they would adopt him as well. Tam didn't want to adopt the boy, but my brother was uncomfortable separating siblings. He said it was both or neither, because he wouldn't be able to look the little girl in the eyes if he rejected her brother. Tam was upset, but she agreed to adopt him. Ever since the adoption, Tam has struggled. She says it's similar to postpartum depression. I'm not qualified to say it is or it isn't, but I don't believe so. All of her struggles center around her adopted son. She gets upset because he talks to his sister in a language no one in the house knows. She says it's because it gives her anxiety to not know what he's saying. And even when he repeats himself in English, he could be lying about what he said. She also gets frustrated with his pretty innocuous behavior, like he always separates his food and rearranges stuff like shoe racks and toy bins. I think he has autism or OCD and should be evaluated, but she thinks he's doing it to upset her. She insists that she treats all the children the same, but that hasn't been my observation. Granted, I'm not around them every day. She gets frustrated with him quickly and doesn't praise him like she does the younger children. Yesterday, I picked the boys up from school because she had to bring the daughter to an appointment. I was supposed to stay for dinner. She was happy and smiling when she got home, but her mood immediately dropped when she saw her oldest. The kids all went to the backyard to play, and I helped her start dinner. She told me that the oldest makes her feel like a bad mom because loving him is hard work. I got frustrated with her and told her he doesn't make her feel like a bad mom. She is being a bad mom to him. She started listing all of his problems and explaining how she struggled with her mental health. I said those are all excuses, and she's not doing right by him. She said it wasn't her fault, and I said she should have never adopted either of those children if she couldn't love them both. She accused me of always disliking her and never really accepting her as a family member because she has a different background. I said she was projecting because that's literally what she's doing to her son. She asked me to leave, and I did. My brother's upset with me. He said I set back his wife's mental health and made everything worse so I could feel holier than thou. He might be right. What I said probably won't make anything better. Was I an idiot? Not the idiot. She had the choice, both or neither. If she wasn't prepared to love both, she never should have agreed to take both in. She's denying that boy a loving home and the support he needs because of her imagined narrative. She's an adult. Her mental state did not make her choose to adopt that boy. She needs to be responsible and seek support and help for her mental health issues, rather than using it to scapegoat a specific child. She needs to be the adult and the parent she signed up to be. I gotta be honest, the dad is also an idiot here too. He knew his wife, and he had to say both or neither because she was being so selfish. He should have put his foot down and said no because of how his wife was acting. And both of them stole the chance to find a loving family from that boy. She sounds like a narcissistic nightmare. You were only standing up for your nephew. You were being the supportive adult that he clearly needs in his life. I worry for the future of the eldest boy and his brothers. Imagine having such a cold mother who says it's so hard to love them, even though they've done nothing to justify that comment. People need to stop weaponizing their mental health against the truth. My 38 female fiance, Jake, 46 male, moved in with me 6 months ago. Then 2 months later, his daughter Carrie moved in with us. Carrie is lazy. She doesn't do chores, cleaning, cooking, or even laundry. She leaves a mess everywhere she goes, doesn't listen when I ask her to help, rolls her eyes and continuously mocks me. Jake says she's a kid, give her time, she'll get better, and to ease up on her because it's not a big deal. Recently, in the past 3 to 4 weeks, Carrie's been tossing her dishes into the sink, usually from halfway between the dining table and sink, which is several feet. The problem is that all my dishes are either ceramic or glass, which means they're getting shattered when they land. I'm at the point of using paper plates, cups, and bowls, since I don't have enough dishes anymore. I've told and snapped at Carrie to stop many times, but she does it anyway, giggles, says, "Oops, sorry, guess I forgot," and practically skips out of the kitchen. I told Jake that Carrie could find a way to pay for the dishes she's broken or go to live with her mom or grandparents. I'm done being disrespected in my home. Jake says I'm being a total witch towards this child. She has no job. It's unfair to kick Carrie out, and if I do, he will never forgive me for being so cruel as to make Carrie feel this isn't her home too. Am I the idiot? Edit to add, Carrie's 21. She moved here to go to college, but decided not to go, and Jake offered to move her to my house. I initially said yes because he always talked about how great she was, and she seemed okay the few times I'd met her. Honey, kick them both out. She's awful, and he's as bad since he won't see it. They can live together, and you'll be much better off. You have to rethink your relationship with your boyfriend. Even Brad Pitt wouldn't be worth this crap. So you plan to marry a man who didn't teach any respect for others and his child, is okay with you being treated like crap, and now is making you the villain. The first time was an oops. Every other broken plate was an intentional act. She has to go, and he should probably be right behind her. Exactly. This 21-year-old adult is not just a kid, decides not to go to college, doesn't have a job, is disrespectful as heck to the owner of the home, and somehow, in her 21 years on this planet, she didn't learn that you don't throw dishes? OP, your primary concern is your fiance's unwillingness to do anything about her behavior. Since they moved in with you, it's your home. They should respect that. You have a huge fiance problem and shouldn't marry him until the problems with his daughter are resolved. You have a mess on your hands.